Go to badboymembership.com. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com.
You know, it's like the Hunger Games in a way. Like we're all a bunch of like prison inmates who are fighting over a piece of bologna. You know, like basically a lot of the rappers, it's kind of like this interesting thing where some of these dudes, unfortunately, you know, they feel they're in a position where they can't make money doing anything else, right? And so the white man holds this carrot over your head. The carrot is fame and fortune, and then they say, okay, there's 10,000 of you, but I only got one carrot. Y'all fight over the carrot, and when that happens, you're gonna have people doing ridiculous things in order to get the carrot. The more outrageous your behavior is, the more likely it is that you might get the carrot. So you might win Coon of the Year award, which means you'll get a Grammy and an Oscar to go with it, and $1 million in your bank account. And then they parade you around as if you are successful. So then what happens is other young people emulate your behavior because they think that you're winning, right? When really behind the scenes, you're losing. You're losing in almost every single way because you become connected to a culture that leads to death and destruction. I mean, think about this. Nobody dies faster than a lot of these rappers, you know, young and old. You know, even you know, poor Young M.A. I feel like the poor, like I know I helped her kind of get out there, right? When I shared that video and it kind of went viral, and she thinks that I'm her enemy, and I never was her enemy. I never disliked her. I never had an issue with her, but I understood where her frustration with me was, because I was basically saying, you are so talented. Why must we speak death into our verses so often? You know, I want you to speak life. You know, that power you have. I don't want you to use it like like Detroit Red. I want you to be Malcolm X, right? And so you see now, you know, she was the poor lady. She or young man, whatever she wants to be, whatever her pronoun is, I'm gonna give it to her. Right. You know, she's in rehab. You know, and that is not a surprise to me, because I thought the same thing when I saw Lizzo, you know, on Instagram crying about the pressure. Some of these individuals understand, they're brilliant people, many of them, and they understand that they're entering into a broken culture. You're entering into almost like a curse, because the thing that you dreamed about becomes your actual worst nightmare. So now your dream was to be a big rapper and have all the money and everything else. But now everywhere you go, you got to have weapons with you because people are coming to kill you. You're stressed out because you done spent all your money. Now you broke, got babies, mamas, STDs, all kinds of crazy stuff happening in your life. And you think you're living like some type of American dream. And I'm just the guy that kind of says that's not really the dream. Like the dream is inner peace and contentment with your life, period.
Right. Now, I did want to ask you about Lizzo next, but I want to kind of follow up on the Young M.A. Question, because I had something to ask you to follow up. Now, you mentioned her going into rehab. Now, she put a video out called Henny'd Up, and a lot of people, she got a lot of backlash, you know, from that video. Now, the video is like they're on a boat, drinking, doing their thing, women and everything, but people are saying, all right, you was just in rehab, now you're getting out, talking about the Henny'd Up, still promoting this alcohol, you know, / drug lifestyle. What do you feel about the backlash that she's getting for that as we speak? There's an article out today on it.
Well, you know what? Young M.A. is a great rapper. I want to start off by saying that. And I could tell, I listen to when she talks. I hope it's okay to say she. I'm not politically correct in terms of knowing when I'm supposed to say he or she. Yeah. But when I listen to Young M.A. talk, I hear a person that is deep, that's intelligent, that could be great at anything. You know, like I have no doubt that if I sat down with Young M.A., we could probably have a lot of things in common, a really good conversation. And so I think that what she's probably doing is processing that criticism. And I'm glad the critique is out there, right? Because what that tells me is that there are people that are not just waking up, but they are speaking up. And they're saying, look, this is a contradiction. You know, why would you feel the need to promote the thing that's probably killing you, right? But it goes deeper than just talking about Young M.A. and targeting her. It's really a matter of saying, what's the machine behind this? Where did this come from? Mm-hmm. You know, why is she even doing that? She's probably doing the video because she thinks people can relate to that. Well, why does she feel that way? Well, because we've created a toxic culture that celebrates the genocide behind drugs and alcohol and all that. So what I think is this is an opportunity, really. It's an opportunity for them to say, okay, let's see if we can pull this back a little bit and really become real artists. You know, real artists are not people who rap about the same thing all the time, that makes you a corporate puppet. You're a product at that point. An artist is somebody who has a range of experiences and a range of emotions and is able to talk about all that, the good, bad, and everything in between. So maybe you mentioned the Henny, but then you also do what I think what was it? I think Kendrick Lamar. I think when he had a song about liquor and alcohol and just what alcohol does to him, right? Mm-hmm. So why not talk about that too? Rap about rehab. Talk about the emotions you had dealing with that, as opposed to giving kids the false impression that it's always a party and it's always fun, because it's not. If you've been around like me and you've seen what happens to these brothers when they become alcoholics and their lives fall apart, they're miserable, suicidal, kids don't respect them. That's a terrible place to be. And what I loved about Tupac was Tupac did some of that. Remember when he went to jail and he did the interview and said, "You do not want to come to jail. Like, jail is not good." Mm-hmm. You're doing kids a favor, because there's probably 100,000 young guys in prison right now who didn't know how terrible prison was until they got there, but now they got an 80-year sentence, so they'll never get a chance to try again.
Let me ask both you brothers something, because I wasn't aware. The last thing I knew about Young M.A was she was dispelling the rumor that she was in rehab. She was like, "Nah, I wasn't in there. See, I wasn't in there." Oh, okay. Was she in there? Do you know if she was in there? She was in there. See?
That's what she said. Okay. I didn't hear her say she wasn't in there.
Yeah, she made a video saying, they tried to say I was in there, but I'm not in there, or something like that. So I don't know.
But then she wrote about to lose this addiction on my way to rehab. She wrote that. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't. I guess we can't speculate on Young M.A's life like that. But I just wish the artist would. One time I heard an artist say something. He was explaining to me why he might rap about the things he raps about, and he said, "Well, I'm just a product of my environment. I'm a product of my environment." And I said, "Wait a minute. You're one of the most famous artists in the world. You're not. You can't use victim language anymore. Mm-hmm. You're not a victim. You're not a product of your environment. You're very powerful. Your environment is a product of you." And that is really something I think that has to flip. So this idea of passing the buck and making excuses and saying I only did that because so and so made me do it, that's training. We get trained to think like that when we're young. And part of true Black power is the ability to take on the God inside you to manifest the reality that you want to see. Right? Why are you walking around with this victim talk as if somehow you can't decide what you're going to do next? Well, are you telling me that you're a slave? If that's the case, then that's fine. I'm going to talk to the grown-ups in the room. But really, I think we should aim for something higher than that. And I think we can do that if we try.
Good point. Talk about the convention going on in Orlando in October, man. You were talking about it briefly in the beginning and backstage a little bit. But talk about that. It's a great convention, and get people a little bit of information on what you got going on out there.
Yeah, the All Black National Convention is something that came to me literally it came from God, I swear, because I took a nap in Atlanta and I woke up and I said, I think I'm going to have a convention and I'm going to call it the All Black National Convention. Now, this happened in 2015, and that's when we did the first one in Atlanta. And Killer Mike was there, David Banner was there, a lot of great people were there, and it was totally packed. And literally we planned it and executed it with like 10 days to go. Don't ask me why I did that. Wow. I just tried it and it worked. And so now we're on the 6th one, and this one's going to be at the end of October. And it's we take no government funding, we take no money from corporations, because you cannot have Black liberation brought to you by Walmart or by McDonald's. Like, that doesn't work. That's not liberation. That's something else. So basically, this is for us, by us. And what we do is we have panels on all different kinds of topics, everything from political issues to reparations, relationships, all kinds of stuff. We also have a lot of breakout sessions and bring together a ton of experts on everything from crypto to real estate, how to buy a Black-owned hotel, how to form investment clubs, etc. There are people there that are focused on really not just giving people a great experience while they're there. Like, we even have stuff like speed dating and speed networking and all that. But really to say, what is it that we need as Black people in order to be successful in this world? Well, you need some knowledge. You need some understanding on wealth. We need to understand how to have better relationships so we can get along with each other, because that's how you build wealth and power, is through group activity. But you can't have group activity if you can't get along, right? And then also health. We got people like Nathaniel Jordan, the Minister of Wellness, and others that are going to come in to talk about things like growing your own food and how to eat right and how to, just keep your immune system up. So it's our space, man, and we own it. We own everything that's happening there. Nothing's off limits. and it's going to be really good. It always is good. So if anybody wants to find out more about it, they can actually go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. So we're real excited. It's the last week of October, the 29th through the 1st, and it's going to be great.